from the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 360.
The regular season is back, Colts 360 is back, and that means so is head coach Shane Steichen for our weekly conversation, kicking off the season, doing so at home. Shane, you talked about all of the work that has gone in this offseason, especially throughout training camp. What has been your overarching message to the team leading into week one?
Really about creating an edge and being in great physical shape come week one. I think, you got to create your edge in training camp, and we did that with how we practice. We had, more than 400 reps, on offense and defense than we had in the previous years. And, you look around the league and how many games come down to the fourth quarter and one-score games, and we got to be great physical shape come the fourth quarter. So our guys have taken to it really well. I thought they practiced their tail off through training camp, competed, got better, grinded through it. We had some hot days out there, and they worked through it and they pushed through it. And we had some long drive drills and some sudden change things. And I thought it was really beneficial for our guys to be in those situations, because when the season starts, man, we got to be full blown ahead, ready to roll. And I thought those guys attacked it the right way.
You want to create that edge and that readiness, of course, from a physical standpoint. How did you guys also create that from the mental standpoint? Because I know that you emphasized competition, and it seems like guys have really embraced that.
No doubt. I think, in this league, the fundamentals and the details and creating that edge, and not only on the practice field, but in the meeting rooms and how we prepare and how we teach as coaches to put those guys in position to make plays. And when there is something that's messed up, going back in that film room and get it corrected, so you don't allow the same thing to happen twice. And I thought our guys did a great job through training camp, attacking it the right way and getting those corrections, creating that mental edge.
I had the opportunity to talk to Daniel Jones a number of times over the course of training camp and the preseason, and he was talking about, part of the draw to Indianapolis was learning underneath you, the vision that you have for this offense, how your scheme, your offensive system really fits well with his skill set and how he likes to play the quarterback position. What is your vision for this offense with Daniel Jones?
Well, I want to be explosive, and I want to stay on schedule, and complete passes and move up and down the field and create those first downs. And I think, we got a heck of a running game with JT and the weapons that we have around him with Pittman and Tyler Warren and Downs and Alec Pierce and AD. I mean, there's a plethora of guys that we got to get the ball to, and that'll be a challenge, for us as coaches, spreading the ball around to those guys. But those guys will all have their plays and those opportunities. But really excited about Daniel and the way he's attacked all offseason, starting in OTAs all the way through training camp. Just the ultimate pro team player, wants to do everything right, just the ultimate grinder. So I'm excited for his opportunity.
He talked to me, too, about the talent that's here. Obviously, he noted the offensive line and Quentin Nelson and Jonathan Taylor as well. And then the wealth of weapons. How unique is it to have a season where your entire wide receiver room is intact back-to-back years?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great for the guys and the camaraderie. You know what I mean? How connected they are, going into this season. They've been together for a while. And obviously, adding Daniel to the fold and the way he's connected with those guys so quickly, I think will be really beneficial for us. And like I said, it's a great problem to have. Some teams have one guy that's just their stud guy that they go to, but we're very fortunate to have a whole bunch of guys that if you take one guy away, we got a couple other guys we can get the ball to. So I'm looking forward to the season.
And you're not digging deep into the playbook over the course of the preseason. You're not showing too much, but when you're talking about pass catchers, and I know he's going to do a whole lot of things within the offense, we got to talk about Tyler Warren. What has impressed you most about how productive he was able to be so quickly and just how he has so seamlessly made this transition to the NFL?
Well, I think he's a really smart player, and he came in here with the routine right away. He was in here early. He's always going through, walking through the plays. The physicality that he brings, you saw it on tape at Penn State, but to see it up close in person at practice, it's been phenomenal. His yards after catch, his hands are soft. I mean, he's got great hands. He catches everything. So I'm really looking forward to a big year from him this year.
And when you talk about physicality, you have to talk about this offensive line. Obviously, Tanner Bortolini, Matt Gonsalves, guys who got reps as rookies last season. Where did you see the most progress from those guys and that entire unit coming into week one?
Well, I think those guys day by day continually get better. Tanner's a guy that, played a little bit last year, but really stepped up this spring and into training camp on how he prepared and how he practiced. And then Matt making the transition from tackle into guard. Obviously, that's a transition when you move from outside to inside. And I thought he handled it the right way. I thought our O-line coach, Tony and Chris Watt, did a great job with those two guys. And then to have Quentin, obviously a staple for us, who's just been a phenomenal player for this organization for so long, has been great. And then obviously Braden and Bernie, getting Bernie signed was huge. So feel really good about the guys up front going into the season.
On the opposite side of the ball, this is very much a veteran-led defense adapting to a completely new defensive scheme under Lou Anarumo. What progress have you seen? How have you seen the defense really develop, especially when you think about just getting the install back in the spring and now coming into week one?
Yeah, I thought, from the time OTA started when Lou came in here to the end of training camp, how those guys gelled together so quickly. There's a lot of stuff that Lou's going to throw at people, and I'm excited for that. He's got an aggressive attacking style of defense, and the guys have, taken ownership in that, and he holds those guys accountable. And I think the guys are really excited about, this season on defense.
And you talk about, the staples there, like your Quentin Nelsons, obviously offensive side. You got a lot of them on the defensive side when you think about, DeForest and Grover and Zaire and Kinney. Then you add to it Charvarius Ward and Cam Bynum. How have those guys elevated that group and the potential with what they have? Because they have bold aspirations. They're saying, hey, top 5 defense this year. We're not settling for anything less.
No doubt. I think when you add, players, through the league to come to us at their level and what they play at, obviously, Mooney's an all-pro player. Cam Bynum, signing him to a big contract. But his smarts and his brain and how he works and the communication on the back end is huge. And then, getting a guy like Xavier Howard, that's been an all-pro as well on the other side is huge. So to add that talent on the back end with the new scheme that Lou's bringing, I couldn't be more excited.
How beneficial is it as well that these are guys who have played at such a high level? They've made deep playoff runs. They've been a part of winning teams consistently when you talk about getting back to the playoffs. Oh,
I think that's huge. Anytime you can bring in guys that have been there and done that, they know exactly what it looks like. So it just builds to the culture of the guys that we have, that they say, hey, we know what it looks like. We've been there, and this is what it's going to take. And everyone holding each other accountable is going to be huge.
Give me one word to describe the offense this season, one word to describe the defense.
Offensively, explosive. Defensively, aggressive.
Oh, I like both of those. Okay, when you start the season at home, how critical is it to take advantage of that opportunity? What expectation does that put on your group to have this one at Lucas Oil Stadium week one? You got the Ring of Honor for Mr. Irsay going up against the Miami Dolphins.
I think it's huge to start week one at home against Miami. I know our guys are going to be fired up, ready to go into that stadium. And I think this year, playing for a bigger purpose in Mr. Irsay and what he's done for this city and this organization, we're going to honor him this year with everything we got, one snap at a time, one game at a time, one meeting at a time, to be the very best we can be.
It's all about 3 words, win for Jim, right?
Win for Jim.
Setting the tone for the season with cornerback and captain Kenny Moore II. Defensive depth, learning with Lou, and sparking a sense of urgency. That's next on Colts 360.
This message is brought to you by Meijer, the official super center of the Indianapolis Colts and proud sponsors of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. Enter now for your kid's chance to be Junior Blue at the next Colts home game. Visit Colts.com/Meijer Junior Blue to enter today. It's time now for the Forum Credit Union Question of the Week. Who holds the Colts record for most sacks in their rookie season? Hall of Famer Dwight Freeney had 13 sacks in 2002. Visit the Forum Credit Union Fan Forum section of Colts.com to interact with other fans online. Forum Credit Union, helping members live their financial dreams.
This season hit different. The big man ain't walking through that tunnel. Big man, you gave your heart to this city. Now it's on us to carry the weight, to carry your name, to carry your legacy. In Indy, legends don't fade. They ride with us forever. That sound you hear rolling through the heartland, it starts deep, low, like a storm just waking up. Then when it hits, you feel it in your chest. It started with one man, but this ain't about one man. It's about all of us. A brotherhood, a city, the shoe. We hit first, and then we hit again, and again, and then we hit your ass again. We don't blink, we don't fold, and we definitely don't say sorry. We run heavy, we strike quick. We built this thing from the dirt and the trenches. This ain't flash, this is foundation. A foundation built by the big man. This season, for the city, for the boss, for the shoe.
You heard the mantra from Colts great Edgerrin James right there. For the city, for the boss, for the shoe. This season, 2025, all about win for Jim. Had to bring back our Colts captain, Kenny Moore II, to kind of set the tone for 2025 as we kick off this regular season on Sunday at Lucas Oil Stadium. Kenny, what is the sense of urgency that this group feels, especially with now you're being one of the longest tenured guys within that locker room?
I mean, just knowing what we have. You know, we've got a lot of guys on the roster that has won games, that knows what it's like to win, that knows what it's like to play as a team. Guys who love ball. We've been building for some time now in training camp and OTAs, and you know, just having everybody here throughout the year so far, just building that camaraderie, building that chemistry, and honestly, we just want to put it together and put it together the right way. So, looking forward to this weekend and looking forward to the season.
One of the things we heard Shane reiterate over the course of the preseason training camp, it was all about creating an edge. How did you see that created, especially defensively?
Probably just the repetition of practice. You know, it was never, you know, fully on from day one, but, you know, just having that buy-in, I think that just goes to show just like everybody just buying in to what Coach Shane is doing around here. It'll pay in dividends. So defensively, we just got a lot of guys who love the scheme, who love just the buy-in in general, and you know, not doing it for something, not doing it transactionally, but just doing it with good intent. And I'm pretty excited to see what comes from that.
You talk about loving the scheme. New coordinator for you, new defense under Lou Anarumo. What do you love about it? How does it play to the strengths of this defense collectively? How does it play to your strengths in particular?
That's a good question. I think we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens in the future, but I haven't played in the game just yet. So I'm really excited to see how everything will play out. Practice has been good. Meetings has been good. The urgency and it's been very intentional to, you know, in certain situations we'll do this, certain situations we'll do that. But the walkthroughs have been really good to kind of the relationship and personalities of everybody, just building that chemistry. You figuring out how Etz will play, how aggressive Mooney will play, and you just got to put all those attributes together. And Coach Lou has been doing that, just putting in the time of learning the players, and obviously, you know, trying to put us in the best position to win. So it's pretty good. The foundation that he's built around here has been instrumental for the team.
You talk about relationships, chemistry, personalities. These big additions that you have had defensively, especially within kind of that DB room, what have those guys like Mooney, like Cam, like Xavier done for this group going into 2025?
I think they just naturally, you know, just rose the competitiveness of the group. It kind of pushed everybody in a good direction of competitiveness, experience, what you've seen in the past, the games that they played in, playoff games. I know Etz, you know, he picked off Big Ben in his, you know, he got his first interception off Big Ben in the playoffs, and like that's, you know, just having those stories of talk and conversation is just good to have that type of talk in the room. You know, it kind of gives the room a vision, especially like younger guys who haven't seen, you know, over 100 games in the league. It's pretty good to have that type of inspiration and motivation in the room. So those are guys I still look up to. Mooney, I've known him for quite some time now, and just his story of how he's become, you know, Lil Mooney in the league right now it's been cool to see.
What's been the connection from you guys? How far back does that go?
2019.
Okay.
2019.
How did you guys initially connect?
We connected because we had the same trainer out in California, and you know, I believe he got traded from Dallas to KC.
Kansas City.
and he was more so like a special team player to begin with, and then obviously having his shot to play defense. He had a really good playoff run with KC, and that's pretty much how he, became Mooney today. So it's been cool to see his work ethic. He's a pretty good player when the ball is in the air, and it's great to see him track the ball. I remember, watching Etz. He came here and had 2 picks, early on in my career, and that's cool to like have that with him now. It's full circle now, being teammates with both of those guys.
You mentioned the experience, some of the big moments that those guys have been in. You're a guy who has been part of playoff appearances for this franchise. With a guy like Mooney who has won a Super Bowl, obviously DeForest has gone to a Super Bowl. You have a guy like Cam who's been on winning teams before, Xavier as well. Having that experience of making those deep playoff runs, how impactful is that in a locker room when guys can draw upon that experience for maybe some of the younger guys who haven't yet had that opportunity? I mean,
even for myself, like just haven't had that opportunity to like really go deep into the playoffs. Those guys know what it looks like. However way we've done things here or we do things now, they know what it looks like, from a peer-to-peer, like teammate to teammate type of relationship, or the extra things that we're doing before practice or after practice. They know the expectation and they know the standard of how things are supposed to look and feel. And it's good to have those conversations of, am I doing this right or am I doing this wrong? But, asking those questions, and they just have the answers to a lot of different things. Not saying that they're perfect, but just asking, just trying to be informative on things. They can give experience and stories on, guys that they've played with and the experiences they've had in the past.
Okay, I mentioned it. You are not only cornerback Kenny Moore, you are captain Kenny Moore, 4th time being selected as a captain. How much does that mean to you to have your teammates repeatedly vote you as one of the leaders of this locker room? Yeah,
it was such an honor. I appreciate it deep down. That's one of those things that not really talked about, but that's something that I appreciate more so than anything. They see what you do when no one is looking, kind of like they see you when you don't think, no one is looking. That's one of those things. But you just want to be you want to be the standard. You want to be the epitome of, the way the team should go. And whenever you are captain, you are out front, and people will see you in a bigger light. So it's kind of a push to do things even better in the sense of, no complaining, no excuses, but you just want to carry it the right way. And they just appreciate who I am naturally as a person. So I think that just goes to show, but they're not picking you because of production or what others see you as outside of the building. I think being voted captain as, by the guys in the locker room, they genuinely just, value you as a person and as a player. So, and more so, they just value you as a teammate. So that's something that I appreciate.
I value you as a teammate. I value you sitting here at the desk with all of the perspective and wisdom that you always bring. Kenny, looking forward to a phenomenal season. Appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Coming up, remembering Jim Irsay. Ahead of Ring of Honor weekend, a tribute to the boss and his lasting legacy. That's next on Colts 360.
This season, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is teaming up with the Colts to shine a light on outstanding small businesses. Indy is our hometown, and boosting local business is just one way we want to thank this great city. Go to Colts.com/Anthem Spotlight to nominate your favorite small business today. Anthem and the Colts, helping Hoosier small businesses score. It's time for the Forum Credit Union Question of the Week. Which Indianapolis Colt has the most career interceptions? Eugene Daniel with 35 career interceptions. Visit the Forum Credit Union Fan Forum section of Colts.com to interact with other fans online. Forum Credit Union, helping members live their financial dreams. Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, proud orthopedic partner of the Indianapolis Colts. At Forte, fellowship-trained physicians and staff provide comprehensive, specialized sports medicine and orthopedic care to active patients of all ages. To learn more, visit forteortho.com.
I try to keep simplicity there when I look for the things that help me. One is 6 words. Trust God, clean house, help others. Trust God, clean house, help others.
And we are here today to welcome to Indianapolis the Colts.
With the first pick in the draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Peyton Manning.
Now we're world champions.
It's something where you work so hard, but mostly I'm just so happy for our fans because they've stuck with us and we've really grown into an incredible football town and state in Indiana, and I'm mostly happy for them because they put a lot of emotional commitment and back us in such a big way, and you feel like you want to deliver it for them.
I love the way that the Colts have won the world championship with class and grace. And you know it's all for you guys.
We love you guys. I mean, you know, the bond that we have with our fans that have stuck with us from the beginning. It's just, I couldn't be happier. I'm exhausted. I'm wet out here, but it couldn't be a better feeling, you know. And I'm so excited, and we're gonna, you know, obviously have some tremendous activities celebrating this world championship with our fans, not only at the parade, but some other places, and get the banners printed up and celebrate it with all our loyal fans. So love you guys, and we're coming home.
First playoff victory in Indianapolis, so we know this one's got to go to Jim Irsay. That's right.
For all of us at Colts Productions, thanks for spending part of your weekend with us and getting ready for the regular season opener with Colts 360. Colts kick off against the Miami Dolphins at 1 o'clock on Sunday at Lucas Oil Stadium. A special thank you to head coach Shane Steichen and Kenny Moore II for being our guests on this week's episode. And in the meantime, be sure to stay up to date on all the latest Colts news and updates on Colts.com, the Colts mobile app, and all of the Colts social media platforms. We look forward to seeing you back here in studio next week for an all-new Colts 360. Look forward to seeing you at Lucas Oil Stadium on Sunday and all season long.